Mariana Islands for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to all the witnesses who braved the storm today. I am from the Marianas, where it's about 75 degrees right now. So this weather is not the business for me. Hafa de Entiro. It's very encouraging to hear about the optimism and resilience among small businesses across the United States. But as we've heard, optimism alone is not enough. It must be backed by a financial system that empowers small businesses with the capital that they need to thrive. We have seen how entrepreneurs respond to the economic optimism, taking risks and investing in growth. But that optimism alone does not drive lending decisions. It is the outlook of financial institutions that determines whether capital flows into communities and businesses. When banks see potential for secure returns, they invest. When uncertainty looms, a vicious cycle takes hold. Businesses struggle, lending slows, and economic recovery stalls. Right now, my district is caught in that very same exact cycle. In an economy where banks see no path to recovery, even the brightest, most promising entrepreneurs find their potential stifled. Lenders hesitate, investments dry up, and businesses are left to fend for themselves. Small businesses in my district aren't giving up. They're fighting for recovery. But in speaking with business owners more and more, they're being forced to rely on high-interest credit cards and personal loans just to stay afloat. Unlike the rest of the U.S., where consumer debt is 69% of the size of commercial and industrial loans, in the Northern Mariana Islands, consumer debt is 180% of commercial lending. That is just unsustainable. Small businesses should not have to shoulder the burden of economic recovery alone. And so, I wish we had a credit union back home from where I'm at. We're down to two banks right now, 3 banks. And so this is more of a broad question for Mr. Hooper. How can the federal government help small businesses in communities where industries have collapsed or remain in decline? So basically in these economic conditions where we're caught in this vicious cycle, how can the federal government assist to be able to allow for access to capital?
I think, as Mr. Sims noted, the SBA programs that exist are good programs. And so I think continuing to make those more manageable for the consumer, as well as the banks that are putting those programs into place with the customer, I think is one way, just to make it less burdensome. I would say that's probably one of the primary ways. Additionally, if interest rates come down a little more, I know many of our customers would appreciate lower borrowing rates, which also make it more manageable from a small business perspective as far as them managing their budgets with other inflationary pressures they already have.
All right. Just a quick follow-up question. In your written testimony, you spoke about the fact that it's not just the beginning of the application process, but the bank's ability to go and recover those SBA guarantees. Can you speak as to the challenges with regards to that particular issue?
Sure. I'm actually in the middle of one right now. We're in our second year of trying to do the recovery. Part of the dilemma is once you go down that road and you start through liquidation, you have to liquidate everything that you had as collateral, as well as pursue all other opportunities for recovery. And it could be a variety of different things. You have to do all of that before you can go back to the SBA to get the SBA to honor the guarantee that they gave at the inception of the loan. So the other difficulty that exists within that is, like others have mentioned, getting communication from the SBA can prove difficult, and some of the answers we get at times are vague. And so, which also puts us in a precarious position, because if we don't make the right choices as we go through that liquidation process and that recovery process, it has the potential for the SBA to claw back potentially some of that guarantee when we get to that stage of the process.
Which would, I presume, discourages lending.
It certainly makes it harder if we don't have clear expectations, understanding of how the SBA is going to respond.
All right. Thank you. I yield the rest of my time, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.